Fat bottom trucks make the rock tech world go round. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, it is finally out of the bag. One of the coolest new things to come to rock crawlers has arrived. I was fortunate enough to get a pair of the rock tech weight systems that are fantastic. I'm going to show you all about it. There's going to be a lot of great videos on this out there on the internet, but we're going to get down and dirty. And I've already installed them on this. I'm going to show you the benefit of using this system on my Coyote with the stock Trepadors. And I'm already brassed out. And then I added the rock tech weights to the front and I ran it up my incline. And you can see the actual readings from the digital inclinometer. So here we are at the inclinometer with the rock tech system installed on the Coyote. The Coyote is already brassed out, so with the addition of the rock tech system, we expect to see it perform way better. Hanging out here, really no trouble. The front tire right side is up a little bit, getting 57.85. Really kind of no problem at all. And we're gonna keep on inching it up a little bit. We're gonna be able to get a little bit more than this. And this is, again, the Coyote already brassed out with the rock tech installed. Portal axle. And we did it more than once just to kind of prove it's not a fluke. The front end is very light at this point. You know, floating there around 59, just all it can do, 58.95, 59. That's really about all it's got. With the suck down winch or even stiffer tires, I might have been able to get a little bit more, but this is phenomenal. Super cool technology. Make sure you stick around because I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts of it, and we'll see how this was mounted to the Coyote, and we'll also install it into a something without brass, either the CJ7 or one of my other project rigs. $59, and it is all it can do. Keep these numbers in mind because it's pretty phenomenal once I put the stock front treps back on. And I chose Trepadors for the test for the rock techs because they were as close as I could get to the stock tire, and I also put plastic bead locks on there. So it was just as an accurate representation as I could get for showing the difference with the rock tech system from Proline. I really wanted to hit that 60 number, so I jacked it up to 60.25. Not happening. Not happening. And got it back down again. Again, we're floating right there under 60, 59.7. You know, we had 59.85. Seems like the max I could get. And then that was a 61.30 with the dig initiated just sitting there. It still wasn't breaking over, but I couldn't, with any backward tire rotation, it wasn't gonna happen. So sitting at 59.85, this is as scientific as I can get, folks. So I know we're back and forth with it, but I think you get the idea. With the rock tech weights, 59.85 under its own power was as good as I could get it. Front right tire is up, and if you could see the weights inside the tires, they are
insane,
straight down to the bottom of the vehicle. because of those magnets, they're held away. So they are always at the bottom of the vehicle. Stock Trepador tires here. Trying that same 59.7. No, not even close. Not even close. Definitely check out the Proline video to see the cutaways of these weights. And what I mean is, if the truck's like this, the weights are always going to be basically 90 degrees to the truck, even when on an incline, if you use the magnets on the knuckles. If you don't use the magnets on the knuckles, they're going to slide back and always follow gravity. So we've got the weights on. Now, in this section we're watching here, this is the stock tires. There's no RockTech system, just the brass that I had installed already. So the baseline, this is the baseline, what we're watching right now. Tell me in the comments below before you watch the rest of this, what difference in degrees do you think it ends up being? 56.8, a very generous number. It is all it can do with the stock tires to achieve that number. So 3 degrees is the answer down in the comments. And answer anyway and be honest what you thought it would be, what you thought it wouldn't be. Let me know. Now let's get back into it, where I'm going to show you actually how this mounts up. I'm going to take it off the Coyote. I think we'll go ahead and mount it up to an RTR like the CJ7, which I've modified. It's got brushless motor and Night Customs 3D printed body. But let's take basically an RTR CJ7, baseline it on metal bead locks, and then see what the difference is with metal bead locks and the RockTech. With the RockTechs, you need to make sure that the beadlock rings aren't wider than 0.8, which is somewhere around, millimeter wise, I think it's just barely over 20 millimeters. 0.32 maybe, to be exact. Thank you, Google. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna get back into the video. I still have the bracket hardware on here from when I ran these. Very cool. And these have the RockTechs installed on them. Right now, we're going to take them out of this and put them in something else. So ignore the brass, but what you're seeing here is the magnets. And there's magnets inside the wheel as well. I'll show you in a minute. And this just bolts on. So you get a couple different shoulder bolts that you can use. So these magnets are designed to mount on the axial portal, as you see here, axial straight axle, and a TRX4. There's a little slip sheet that shows you exactly what's going on. That's going to come in the box. So you can see the 10 portal, you're using that bracket, and the shoulder bolt with the threaded post. Straight axle, you're going to use that bracket, turn the other way. Actually, it's a slightly different bracket. And then on a TRX4, you're going to use this one. Pretty awesome. But that's really how easy it is. I mean, we're doing this in reverse order, right? But so very easy to install this RockTech system. The hardest part is just making it all fit in your wheels. When you do it, you want to use a 0.8, no wider really than 0.8. On your bead lock, and with these you don't need the inner clamp ring, so that's cool. We're going to take this apart, and then I'll split apart the case so you can actually see what is up with this cool system, and then we're going to install them on some metal bead locks, and I'm going to show you how good a rig with no brass benefits from having the RockTech system. Okay, now I've got the screws out, and you can start to see how this is going to go together. Go ahead and pop these bits out. These are just a Vanquish plastic bead lock that come with the H10 optic. I wanted to use plastic wheels because I wanted to emulate as close as I could what the Coyote has to begin with. So you'll notice you don't need the inner clamp ring on this system. So we'll go ahead and take this out. This is, again, maybe one of the harder parts of the whole job is just getting this shoehorned in. And of course, when you're doing it on camera, it's going to be clumsy too. So essentially, this acts like a super rigid dual stage foam, because you've got this plastic case here. And there's still the foam ring in here. So this foam ring is going to be specific to, I could have maybe left that in. So this foam ring is specific to this system because you've got to have it, right? So when you get the Rock Techs, you're going to get 2 sets of wheels and the foams, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll go ahead and get this undone, and I'm going to show you how cool this is inside. All right, so in the case, you get this 54-gram chunk of brass. And so if you were to not set up the magnets on your knuckles, this is going to free spin and stay on the bottom of the rig. No matter what incline the truck is at, this will always stay at the bottom. So if you're coming down an incline, you're going to have it there at the gravity bottom, and going up an incline, same thing. It's going to be gravity bottom, but of course the angle of the truck changes. When you use the magnets on your knuckles, though, this bottom will always stay with the truck. See how I'm not letting it swing because my thumb is acting as if the magnets were on the incline, the knuckle of the truck. So the way how this works is there's magnets right there in this huge, awesome bearing, right? So when you install these, you do want to make sure if you're going to use the magnets, you can leave these on. But if you decide to not use the magnets on the knuckles, it's no problem. These can stay. But if you intend to let this magnetically couple, you're going to want to make sure you pay attention as you assemble your wheels and tires. So this is facing inside towards the knuckles so the magnets can do their job. So what also, you'll notice this extra provision right here, you can add more brass to this, which is totally cool. And if you're doing that, you also have the ability to adjust where your magnet mounts, right? You've got these 3 positions here. So if you're going to, now, right now, this is appropriate. It's 180 opposed to the brass. If you wanted to add another chunk of brass, you can just simply move this magnet over one hole. And you do have some tunability if you want to experiment with not a 180 bias, you can do that. So I think in essence, kind of cheat them to the front, which would make sense to do, I think, for all kinds of reasons. But I experimented with it like this. This is what I've got. This is the stock ones, what you're going to get. So cool. So let's get this back together, and we're going to get this installed with a different set of bead locks this time. So basically standard 4.75, 110 scale rock crawler tires are going to be fine for this. And what I'm getting ready to, and you can feel it in there swinging. So for me, I'm putting the foam in first on this one. I don't quite remember how I did it now because I've slept since then. Get your foam in there, get it massaged around, and no wrinkles, laying in there nice. Again, rotation, keeping that in mind. So I know that this is my bottom side, so that's what I'm going to do. And shoehorn this in. This will be the trickiest part for some. but it's not too bad. I'm in. It's that simple. So I'm going to go ahead and do my thing here, kind of massage it in. And now I'm going to get ready to do the... And now that I've got the tire installed here, keeping in mind rotation, again, I can check the magnet if I want to right there. So that's helpful. And we're going to get these trails installed. I don't need the clamp ring. This is the nice weighted clamp ring, by the way. So we know this is the, we checked it. So we know this is the top, and check it again, just for the sake of argument. Yep. That's the top, and this is the bottom. And this fits super nice in here. So we're going to get our screws out and start putting this together. Okay, that's one done. Fantastic. I can feel my weight. The tread is correct. Right side front. And now the second one is going to be much easier. I actually had a hard time trying to find a material that would allow the traction to still hold up while I was performing the angle test. I actually finally found something that would do it, because the benefit of the weight seemed to far outweigh the capacity of any traction. So that's wild. That's wild. So we're just going to rock this out. Like I said, I had one installed in these. Again, you got to keep in mind rotation. So for me on this one, I got to keep in mind that this is on the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and, yep, double check with my magnet that this is the inside towards the axle, which is what we want. And I can simply start putting this one back together. I got to tell you, check out the Proline videos on this. They are very good. If you also want to see some more, it's a really good video on how they go together. And they took 2 Coyotes out to the rocks. I only had one, so I had to go back and forth, but they had 2 out, one in stock configuration and one with the Rock Techs, and showed the benefit of using these Rock Techs, which will blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. This, I feel, has the real potential to be an absolute game changer. And I'd like you to tell me in the comments below what other sizes of these tires you would like to see. So I did my due diligence. The rotation is going to be fine. And the magnets are on the correct side, all of that. There it is. Fantastic. And once the magnets are on the knuckles, you don't feel that at all. And they're still squishy. You've got that outer ring of foam, but the center ring, it's not going to collapse. So if you like dual stage foams already, I mean, this is that plus. The left tire is up in the air. The right tire is barely touching. That is the top end of what that's going to be able to do. Okay. Now let's put the rock techs on there and see what we can do. Got to just take apart this little tiny bracket, because this is what I used on the portal axles. So we're just going to change that. So this is the bracket you're going to use for the straight axle version. It's got this extra wrap around, nice and tight. Then we just take off our shoulder bolt here and we'll install it like this. That's fantastic. And with that wrap around on the base, it helps keep it in place from rotating around. So once you get down there low enough, you don't really have to hold that magnet anymore. And if you need to, you can push them back, you can bring them out. That bracket will flex. So here we go. This is just right. We're getting ready to run this. We're going to see how much we can increase the angle. So our baseline is set up right now. So we're going to go with that starting point, and then we'll increase it and see where it falls off at. Just for the record, I mean, I did this with the radio on. It really did not take me long at all. My radio timed out on me just once. So it's probably been maybe 10 minutes to do this whole deal. Okay, now that looks so cool. Nice tires, Proline Treps, Proline Rock Techs, Trio bead locks. Let's get outside and see how much of an increase we can get on the angle. So this is where we left it, the baseline without the weighted tires. And here we have the rock techs installed and the magnets. So the brass weights are going to stay at the bottom of the truck. No problem. It was just teetering over on the baseline run. All right, let's increase the angle. Oh. Left tire's coming up. It's still doing fantastic. Dude, 57.6. $58 and some change. $58.05. It is close though. Wow. This is ridiculous. 58.2 scale RTR, basically. Oh, that will probably be the top end right there. That angle is absolutely ridiculous. Are you getting what I'm putting down here? I mean, this angle is nuts. Just crazy town. Definitely beats baseline. So as you can see, it definitely does beat baseline. The RockTech weights, you want these. If you want performance out of your rock crawler, this is an innovating product. Unsprung weight is what we are always trying to achieve. This eliminates rotating mass. It's easier on your drivetrain. This is a really neat system. And not only, don't judge it specifically on the numbers, although those are important, but notice how easy it does it. Definitely check out the Proline videos. They've got a good install video, and they also have a running video where they've got 2 coyotes out there on the rocks. Just check out the ease at which the crawlers that have this system do what they do. When I was beating baseline with the CJ7 and with the Coyote, it was just no sweat to achieve those uplines with the system in there. And the point where it finally gave up, that's extreme. Both rigs, whether it's the CJ7 or the Coyote, were pushing 60 degrees with the RockTech system in there. The difference was about 3 degrees on each one. Totally cool. Links in the description. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Say something in the comments to me. This was a lot of fun to do. I don't get a chance to do a lot of videos like that, but I wanted to do the best I could. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.